Hello, welcome back to Storytime with Cullen, and today I have the Mr. Joey Lee and the Mr. EK. No, so this is Yuta. So if you guys don't know Joey is Stickydiljoe and Chronicles. So obviously if you're in Hondas, you definitely know him. And if you watch Joey stuff, then you should know who he is.
The reoccurring character. But I was away for a little bit. Yeah, so that was like typically on like a sitcom, whenever people get pregnant, you know, they go away to college or something. It's just like that.
Oh my god. Okay, so I'm still in sunny California. And obviously I've been wanting to have these guys on here as guests for a very long time, but obviously everyone is very busy. So I don't know, you guys want to kind of introduce yourselves in your own words as to, you know, what you do and what you're about?
I can introduce Joey.
Oh, that works too.
Is that okay, Joey?
Yeah, sure.
Is that hella weird? Because it makes more sense, doesn't it? Since we have the opportunity, there's two of us here.
That is true.
And we've worked together for so long.
Yeah.
Joey Lee is actually not half white, as it turns out. The trip, right? So one day we were talking about something, and then I was just like, yeah, but that's because you're half white. And he's like, no. And then I realized at that point that I had Thanksgiving dinner with him before, and his parents are definitely both Chinese. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's where he came from, two Chinese parents. And he was born in Hong Kong, and then moved to San Diego when he was like, what, elementary school? No. Middle school.
2 years old.
Oh.
Middle school.
So he was really
like
smart. So
popular.
at 2 years old, he was already going to middle school. Amazing, right? And as it turns out, I think Joey, the Joey that you guys all pretty much know is for the Chronicles, Stickydiljoe.com. That was kind of that was almost how do you say, a product of what he was doing at the time professionally, and that was as a photographer. Mm. I believe he started working for was it Rodriguez over at Honda Tuning, and Jonathan Wong brought him on at Super Street. If those magazines are still around, you'd be going on, what, 12, 15 years now?
Yeah, probably longer than that.
And so, just, I guess as a profession, I wouldn't say Joey's a photographer. I think he shows parts of the world that many people are not able to see.
Many people that don't know it exists.
That too. So he's cultivates shit. Mm. Does that make sense? Is that a proper way to say it?
Yeah. Cultivate shit.
He's a shit cultivator. Yeah, and it's the Southern California Honda scene in the early 2000s. Myself personally, I didn't even know it existed until I found Joey's website. Mm-hmm. So I was reading that when I was still living in San Jose, the Bay Area. So even from a very personal standpoint, I understand the how cool it was to see and why it created such a following. More recently, I think he's expanded more to the just general car stuff all around the world. Mm-hmm. I know he went to Australia a few times. A big part of, at least in my personal opinion, one of the largest influences the shit cultivation was the Osaka Honda scene. Mm-hmm. That was something that was pretty much unknown to the rest of the world, especially here in like the Western, what is it, hemisphere? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that's something that like people almost expect now. Mm-hmm. You know, it's been replicated all over the world. Shit's insane. And being of Japanese ethnicity, I don't know, blood, whatever the fuck, this stuff that I had never seen. Mm-hmm. So
you're not actually JDM?
I was born in California, San Jose.
So USDM. Shit.
Very USDM.
I don't have the leaves on your shirt.
I vacuumed the office because I knew you were coming, and we didn't even use it. I was vacuuming. So therefore, that's why I have leaves on my shirt. Anyhow, back to Joey. But not to sound weird, but yeah, truly a man who needs no introduction.
Yeah, I've been around for a long time.
You have?
So I started when you were probably like 13.
Yeah.
Well,
So young.
So, funny thing, if you guys didn't know, is that my first ever shoot that I did for Super Street, the person that wrote the article was Joey, I believe. The NSX? Or was it the Evo that was first?
which
There's-
NSX?
There's a white wide body NSX that had the highlighter green where it's
yeah.
TC105 ends.
Oh, I remember that article.
Yeah, and then there was also a yellow wide body Voltex Evo. I don't know if you wrote that article too, I don't remember.
Maybe.
It was back in, this is long, this is like 7 years ago, so. And
You also have to realize that like between the two of us, we've probably written like 300, 400 articles.
yeah,
Yeah.
so you see how, like the world's a very small place. I'm in Seattle, Joey and Yuta are here in Cali, but somehow we're connected by this weird thing called the internet nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not me, but.
Well, yeah, except this guy.
And like traveling and stuff,
Mhm.
and mutual friends.
Because I met you when I met you.
Yeah, at WeFest.
Alki.
Was it
No, we
Alki?
had-
Or was it
yeah,
WeFest?
we had the car meet.
Yeah.
That was before WeFest even got there.
Mhm.
That was like a year
It's
before.
okay. You
WeFest.
don't have to remember. It's all good. I remember you I remember you distinctly.
No, I was a fuckboy at the time, Sarah was there, so obviously. Was
Yes,
it?
that's
Oh,
true.
Yeah.
were you distracted?
Yeah, I was distracted.
Fucking guy. Fucking guy.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Let's
That was like
just use us
4
to
years ago.
Declare your feelings
Yeah.
real quick. Fucking
No, fuck.
Yeah, you were like barely like 21 back then, so yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, I was barely 21, yeah. It's about
Oh,
right.
Man.
That was a long time ago.
Okay. Yeah. I see.
I've come a long way since
Have you, though?
then.
I'm just kidding. Anyways. All right.
You made me blush,
It's okay. It's okay. No, you have.
It's okay. You're still young.
I mean, I've come from Seattle.
Honestly, like the fact that you like took that first step to come out here, and because neither of us are from here either, but like they say, like Jerry Seinfeld says, LA is undefeated, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I mean, really for creatives, I think a lot of people said it's either LA or New York, and New York is definitely not.
Not for car
I don't
culture.
feel it. I
No.
don't feel it.
It's not for me either. I like to drive and stuff. I don't like to like sit on a train.
Because, I mean, the culture's there too, but it's just not the same. Because coming from my perspective, okay, I'm from the Pacific Northwest, right? So I didn't necessarily know as much about California as obviously you guys do. And from after I came down here, what I learned was that California is basically where everything started in terms of American car culture. I don't know if you guys agree with that.
Pretty much.
I mean, if you disregard Detroit, then definitely.
Yeah.
In terms of culture, I think a lot of it started here.
Automotive culture, lowrider culture.
Because, yeah, especially down, like when I was in San Diego, obviously saw a lot of lowriders. So that's a very big part out there.
Yeah.
And then I think it was a guy, so Russ, I met through Mikey. He had mentioned that the very early days were all about street racing Hondas.
Yeah.
And obviously you guys know the Kent races in Seattle, so that was where our shit kind of started, where our OGs came from.
Seattle has some serious street racing.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's died down a lot more now, but it still exists. But I feel like now California has kind of moved away from the legal street racing part, more so towards where it's the younger generation doing stupid shit like the
Like the
takeovers.
takeover stuff.
Yeah.
That's completely that's completely different.
Yeah,
So that's not.
That's like
It's the wrong direction. We've gone
it's
off
not a
somewhere
matter of
like-
right and wrong. I mean, there is no universal right and wrong.
That is true.
But I feel that is a very different thing in
Yeah.
the sense that like, I mean,
Yeah.
it has the automotive. The fact that it involves an automotive component is like saying bank robberies are a fucking automotive thing, or like it has something to do with street racing. It has nothing to do with it. It's completely separate. Street racing there's a reason, there's a purpose. There is a very good. There is an actual culture that can create culture, whereas whatever the fuck it is,
Takeovers.
yeah, that's not.
Yeah,
that's
those
not
aren't even car enthusiasts. They're just kids. that
Don't
want
even.
attention.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of misconceptions. So obviously one of the things that I wanted to go through this is that, okay, a lot of people look up to me. I don't know why. I have
'Cause you're tall.
Yes. Good enough.
How tall are you?
6'2",
Okay.
6'3" on a good
I'm
day.
just kidding. I'm sorry.
But but no, that's okay. We keep it real. That's what it is, right? But okay, my car, like, okay, what I view myself is, okay, I have a broke ass Honda and I take photos, so that's all I do. But there's a lot of people that like to listen to They look up to us and they want to learn from us. Obviously, the people who are willing to listen, I want to steer them away from that direction.
Wait, what direction is that?
Like going to the takeovers and actually going and learning in depth. Because everyone thinks that we overnight became who we are. And obviously, it's been a long journey for you guys, and it has been for me.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, we've been through, you know, many stages of failures, and we've learned from those. And obviously, I remember reading one of your articles where you talked about everything, how you talked about being, you know, doing what you're doing, like photographer and article writer. It's not as easy as it is, and making a living off of it is very hard. And that was something that hit home very hard for me, because I feel like not many people talk about it, for one, and number two, a lot of people looking in from outside, they think it's all, you know, fun and games, which it definitely isn't, because behind the scenes there's so much stress and stuff going on.
Yeah, it's a lot of time.
So, I mean, one question that I want to ask you guys is, if I were to ask you what was the most fucked up or the most horrible time that you feel okay sharing, like, what is that time? What is that first memory that comes up?
Joey, go ahead.
Most fucked up time in life?
Yeah.
Shit, I don't know, man. That's tough. In terms of just general life stuff?
Yeah, like, what's the most fucked up thing that comes to
hold on.
mind?
Define fucked up.
Yeah.
What made you feel like you were at the rock bottom? What made you feel the worst? Or was there even one point, or is it multiple points that you felt like?
Yeah, I don't think there's one point where I just felt like I was in the gutter. And there's been multiple times when I was like pretty broke, yeah, struggling and stuff. I mean, I think about it now, looking back on how life was like 10 years ago, how different it was when I was first starting up. Like, I mean, you see, like, I always post like meals and food and stuff that we're doing now, and like the people that we spend our time with. But I mean, back then I was like pretty much alone and know what I was doing, and like I didn't have any money. You know, like I moved up to LA with like $400. You know. And I remember I would have to like go to the supermarket and like wait till the end of the night when like the rotisserie chicken was like half off, you know. And then you buy that shit for like $3, you eat it for like 4 days, you know. So yeah, I mean, I guess if you want to talk about just like normal human conditions of just being broke, those I mean, a good part of like the early years was just us being broke. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't even afford a camera, you know, when I first started. I didn't know how to take pictures. I didn't know how to do anything. I just knew how to write. You know, so. Yeah.
I'm still broke, so.
I'm still broke too. So.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. It's
I mean, the rent's paid now, but it's like, you know.
It wasn't like that before.
Still not balling, yeah.
which is fine in my opinion.
I mean, money's not everything, right? You know, I feel like we have a lot of things that money can't buy. So I'd much rather have these things than just have money.
Yeah.
Because there's so many talents and, you know, gifts, if you want to call them that, you know, can't be bought with money.
As it turns out, most things can't be bought with money. Anything worthwhile, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, I have a wealth of experience.
Oh shit, I bet.
And experience as a human being, like as one person on this planet, it doesn't make it any more or less significant in the big picture, your experience, right? But you sure as shit can't buy any of that with money.
Yeah. I'd say I was a lot richer than a lot of people that you were talking about life experience and like, you know, moments, you know.
Yep.
So I'm happy about that.
Because a lot of people in terms, like in the general public, they like to talk about 1%, 99%. But what I think is it's like the 1% of people that actually know how to use their brains versus the 99% of people who don't. That's what I like to look at it as, more than the 1% who have X amount of money. Because, you know, there's a lot of things that, okay, we go into this, we know what we're getting into. So like me moving down to LA, it's kind of similar situation. Didn't have that much money, just made the jump. Said, fuck it, if I need to do it, then this is the place I need to be.
It's a leap of faith, right?
Yep.
Well, it also doesn't. It also doesn't. Well, I'm not gonna. You know, it doesn't make you any better or worse. And you said the 1% of people who know how to use their brains, and I find that a little bit interesting because I feel like I'm not really in the 1% either. I'm just a little crazy and obsessive. I mean, and I'll admit that 100% all day long. Yeah, I fixate on shit and I just obsess, and I love that. Like, that's my favorite thing to do. So, I mean, it is what it is. It doesn't mean that I'm using my brain. Most of the time, I'm probably not, to be honest with you. Like, logical decision making is definitely not it's definitely not a strong suit. It might not even be a suit at all for me. But I love that shit. Like,
and that's what makes us human, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what makes me me.
That's what makes me you too.
We're the very small percentage of people that get to, I guess, make a living doing what we love. you know, instead of just having I guess what we call a conventional job, you know, like a normal 9 to 5, a normal life plan of like, you know, owning a home, starting a family by like 28 or something, you know, like that's all stuff that we knew getting into it that we weren't going to accomplish right away, you know. If anything, like we've taken our passions and we've lived this life, but we've also delayed a lot of the processes of being a very much, I guess, a normal human being, you know, in terms of life plan stuff, you know. But
And I never will be.
yeah,
I have no intention.
that's a sacrifice, you know.
To me, it's not a sacrifice. That's the goal. It's like I don't ever want to do any of that shit for the rest of my life. I want to make a little bit of money, pay the rent, and just do whatever the fuck I want. Like, and not in the sense of like do whatever the fuck I want, but like in the sense of I will never ever give up creative freedom for anything again, ever.
Yeah, I completely get that. I mean, it's kind of like the one thing. It's like, okay, we're creatives, but the one thing is like, okay, we have these photography assets. We have like Joey knows how to write. You know, it's like if.
God damn it.
I mean, you're not right too, sorry.
You're not in jail.
Yeah, that's always a plus, right?
Yeah.
It's been a few months now. I'm just kidding. I was not actually in jail.
Yeah, you imprisoned yourself. That's different.
Gonna blow that section up, but you pointing at the camera. Turning that meme.
Thank you.
But
I was talking about how did you do?
Oh yeah, I don't want to talk about that. It's just gonna make me angry.
Question mark. But no, it's like if we work for someone else, then there comes a certain point where it's like we don't have the freedom to say and do the things we want to do. So that's also one thing.
Yeah.
It's like it's kind of you have to you want to work for someone else, have a stable income, or you want to do what you want to be able to do with what you have.
Yeah.
So that's always the decision that people have to make. Oh, did you go to college?
I went for a little bit.
Did you?
I didn't graduate high school.
Oh well, I didn't go to college at all, and I graduated in high school, so I guess I'm in the middle.
Yeah.
Do you want to switch spots?
I went a little bit, but it wasn't anything that I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I felt like it was pointless for me to be there. And by the time I felt like I should have gone back, I was already doing what I wanted to do. So, I mean, you gotta go to school for writing magazine features on cars. Like, no one's gonna, you know. And once my English teacher told me that I would never make a living writing, I was just like, well, why am I here then? And so I booked it, yeah.
Because I'm the same way. That's why I didn't go to college. Because that's a question that a lot of the younger kids like to ask me. They're like, what do you think? What is your outlook on college? And I was like, okay, there's a lot of people out here now that haven't gone to college. And it's really about if you know what you want to do. And even if you're not going to school, it doesn't mean you can't keep learning.
What would you have done, though, if you had the chance to get a free ride to school?
A free ride to school. At that time, my original plan in high school was to do aerospace engineering. So I was actually in an aerospace class
Because you're from the Pacific Northwest, so you're going to get stuck in a Boeing job.
Yeah, well, even if it wasn't a Boeing job, there are a lot of actual private contractor jobs that made good money, and it's way more stable than Boeing. Because obviously everyone knows Boeing as like a name brand, but then your job security is actually not really there.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you're kind of like a sheep. You know, if I wanted to fire you because you've been here for 5 years and you have to pay you $100,000, I could find someone else who could do the exact same thing. He was trained to do the exact same damn thing, but I can pay him less. And people don't understand that. People don't understand that you have to stand out. You have to make yourself valuable.
Yeah.
Instead of being easily replaced.
A worker bee.
Yeah, and a lot of people nowadays really don't understand that.
Yeah. Or they have a misconception that you can just be a creative and do whatever you want and make money off of it. And they don't have it. Yeah.
It's just like photography. Like photography's so oversaturated. Everyone's like, oh, you're an automotive photographer. Oh, you must make a decent living. I'm like, dude, do you know how many people with a camera that are probably way more talented than I am that don't charge?
Well, anybody can buy a camera, but how many of them are photographers?
There are a lot of younger kids coming up that know how to use the internet, that know how to learn stuff. They're like, a lot of people think, okay, you're 25, you have a wide body S2000, you have this Instagram clout, whatever you want to call it. They think I'm very successful. They've had 5 years on me, maybe even 7, and I'm like, what's to say that when you're 25, you could be far better than I am right now? So why is it that you put me up on a pedestal? That's how I feel about a lot of things, because I stopped looking at that. Like, you don't have to live within someone else's timelines, right?
Yeah.
And you literally can't.
Yeah, but people like to put themselves there, like, okay, I have to do this by 25, I have to do this by 30, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having goals like that. That's like a life plan, but it's hard to compare to somebody else's life.
But then there's this misconception that it's like people think I have to do this by 25. If I don't have what everyone else has by 25 or by 30, then I'm a failure.
Well, if that's what's important to them, and if that's what, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, if that's what's important to them, then by all means do it. You know, it's like if owning something or having, you know, being married or even graduating college or whatever, if that's what's really important to you, if that's what you really care about, then why the fuck not? I mean, the reason why I didn't do any of those things was because that wasn't what was important to me, but that doesn't make it any better or worse than anybody else and what they care about. I think that I just happen to really like EKs, and if somebody really likes college, then fuck. I mean, that's the same damn thing. I mean, college or, you know, a stable job. I mean, that's it. Just that's a variable. You can replace that with anything. And if a quote unquote traditional lifestyle is what they really that's what they're passionate about, then there's nothing wrong with that. And that's what I personally believe. But I mean, you guys as creative individuals, you know, I understand you guys are very rare in terms of people who really get into that and stick with it. And I think that's great. But I mean, I know it's not for everybody, and you know, people, probably even less so people who want to live like me. That's even more unusual, because this is, you know, it's strange, honestly. But that doesn't mean that I'm not giving anybody shit ever for, you know, taking the quote unquote safe route, going to high school, doing well, going to college, getting a stable job, and then pursuing things that interest them a little bit at a time over a long period of, you know, of their life. I think that's just fine. Yeah.
But at the same time, me pursuing this route, what I'm doing now for me is I'm kind of stuck with it. I don't have any other choice. This is what
You have every choice. You can do what the fuck you want.
Well, it's
You're 25.
You can, no,
I know.
It doesn't matter how old you are. You can do whatever you want, man. You're not stuck with anything. Like, do you enjoy this?
No, well, yes and no. But what my idea is, okay, my goal by 30 is that I want to be able to financially be able to support my parents. And at that point, I wish they, like, for me, money is freedom in the sense that my parents don't have to worry about any of that bullshit. I can do whatever I wanted to do when I was young with them and enjoy the rest of what time we have with them, you know? So that's my thing. That's why I want money. That's the reason why I came down to LA. There's resources down here, and that's the whole reason for wanting money. But at the same time, there are people that didn't understand that I want to live something similar to you, okay? Just doing something where it's like, okay, I have, you know, my bills are paid, I have enough money to enjoy the things I have. Obviously, I enjoy S2000, so that would be my thing.
I think you have no idea how I live.
No, I'm the same way. Like, literally, me living right now,
Okay.
I don't know how much better off, if you think I am better off.
Oh, no, I'm not saying you're better or worse off. It's like, I don't think anybody really lives like me.
Well, I mean, in a similar sense where it's like on the outside where you're doing what you want to be doing, not so much worrying about that aspect of like, okay.
We're just talking about from like a financial standpoint.
Yeah, from a financial standpoint.
Yeah,
Because
not owning furniture.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a whole other story.
Oh, dude, I don't know. Fuck, I would do the same way. If I have a bed, if I have a bed, that's enough for me because I'm never home. I just want to be driving. That's all I want to do.
Oh, that makes sense.
But then it's like I have to go do all these things, like be in the spotlight because somehow I garnered an Instagram following, which I don't know how it came about. It wasn't my intention.
You're going to use that in order to reach your goal of supporting your parents.
But once I get there, once everything's stable, I might even want to just kind of disappear from the social aspect of things. Like I don't like always being in the spotlight. People, obviously, like being in the spotlight, you can get a lot of negative comments here and there. And obviously we've seen it so much that we're kind of over it. We kind of phase it out a little bit. But sometimes if we're on a bad day, we still kind of feel like, well, okay, fuck, like, okay, this person's saying this and this about me. I just don't like that negative attention because it doesn't really necessarily need to be there. But I just so happen I can just open my phone and I just see that. That's it. Like I didn't ask to see it.
You didn't ask to see the positive comments either, though.
Yeah, but so when I see the positive comments, that's how I know I'm accomplishing my goal. It's like when people watch story time, they're like, oh, hey, you kind of motivated me to go back and work on my car. Oh, it's cool to see so-and-so sharing their story of, you know, with so-and-so, you know, that kind of thing. That motivates me too.
Okay, well, here's my question for you is, when you inspire somebody to do something that they enjoy, get back into an interest of their own, such as working on their car or whatnot, that's you're inspiring somebody. How's that different to you as somebody who you inspire to talk shit?
You want to give me an example, like how, like
okay,
like what?
Like one of your negative comments. That's just somebody talking shit, right? It's somebody who doesn't like what you do, and they voiced it. Whereas on the flip side, simple physics is every action causes a equal and opposite reaction, and it could be one or the other. I mean, it's just, some people might voice their, I don't know. I honestly don't know what kind of negative comments you get, but like, what do people say?
Well, there's okay. Obviously, one thing that a lot of people like to talk about, whether it's American society or Chinese society, it's the same thing. They like to talk about my physical features and aspects, something that I can't change. Obviously, I have a very pronounced chin, which is something that has to be changed through surgery. And in my life, I've had 3 or 4 surgeries so far already, like multiple little things. I've had scoliosis surgery, so that kind of explains why I'm so tall. Because at one point it was that I was in high school, played basketball every single day, but if I'm working out and playing basketball every single day, there's no way that I'm going to get out of shape, right? And I was having shortness of breath, and go do a physical and find out I have scoliosis. If I don't do scoliosis, if I don't do the surgery, my lungs going to collapse. So I had no other choice than to go ahead and go do that. And so that was one surgery. It's like all these physical like health issues are things that need to be changed. People don't understand that. And I haven't...
Well, people don't care. That's the thing.
Yeah, people also don't care.
Yeah.
But...
you don't have to explain that to
What?
people. You don't have to explain that to people.
I don't have to explain it.
Welcome.
But the thing is, it's like...
It's easy for people to talk shit because they never have to see you in person. That's what,
Well, that's one thing. That's a very big thing. Yeah, especially from like where I grew up and the shit that I'm around now. But
People talk shit about your physical appearance?
yeah, because obviously keyboard warriors and this and that. But then at the same time, I do understand that one, obviously these people aren't going to see me face to face, and two is that these people know that they have a little cover. But they don't know
it's
that.
the ultimate cover, isn't it? Like, it could be anybody.
Yeah, but people don't understand that that cover is that the walks of life that I've been through is that we could take that cover away.
Yeah.
They don't understand that. They don't understand how this world actually
Now they
functions.
do. You just blew your own cover, but...
Well, that's fine.
I'm just fucking
That's fine.
No, I think that's fucked up. Like, honestly, that's not what I was expecting. I thought, honestly, like, I don't know, maybe I was being a little ignorant.
You thought they were going to talk about a shitty car?
Okay.
That's not I'm not gonna deny that.
First of all, I really like your car. It's always had a very...
But you can see why people would say stuff about it, though, right? If you're nitpicking.
Well, I mean, also, hold on. I thought they were gonna be like, okay, so like, I thought people were gonna point out like actual professional concerns, like you said something that was incorrect or.
Oh no, that's not fine.
And like which is. Yeah. But like in such a way, it's like, oh, you dumb piece of shit kind of thing, It's not,
Yeah.
However, I was honestly not expecting physical features and shit like that to be brought up.
Anytime you're in front of a camera, you gotta expect it.
I guess so, yeah.
And so that's why I don't like being in front of the camera, because I'm very insecure, first and foremost, about my physical appearance.
You want to trade bodies?
I don't want to trade bodies with anyone, but
With me?
it's no. We can. No, I'm sorry.
He's in very poor health.
I'm also really short.
Yeah.
So like, there's a give and a take,
There's a give and a take, because with the scoliosis surgery, so everyone loves titanium, right? I have 2 titanium rods holding my spine fucking straight, and I have fucking screws holding my spine together. And granted, the doctor who did my surgery was the best. He was rated #1 in the U.S. for scoliosis surgeries. But I've read a lot of, you can call them horror stories or whatever, but a lot of people reaching their mid to late 30s is when surgery can't fix anything anymore. But we don't know if technology is going to change at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Or, but at the same time, that's kind of one of my bigger fears, is that when I'm 35 or 40, my body's not able to keep up with things I want to do anymore.
Do you think that drives the way you live now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So it's like, I guess you can say that's an advantage, right, in terms of how your mind works?
Yeah, because it's like, Cantonese, right? or something.
I don't.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to translate. And the question is, how many decades do you have in your lifetime? And if you honestly think about it, you might have 6, you might have 7, you might have 8, if you even reach that far. So you only have how many decades to live?
Yeah.
It's not that many.
Not a lot of people have that mindset, right? Because they just think that they're going to live forever.
Whether or not that's a positive or negative thing, I personally like that mindset. I mean, it doesn't mean it's good, bad, and, I mean, who am I to say? But I appreciate and I respect that.
Yeah, it's what drives you.
I mean, and that's how we all live our lives differently, and that's kind of the thing that I want to let people know is that we have our professions, we have all these things that people know us for, but do they necessarily actually know the person that they're talking to? So they don't. And obviously, I'm not close with you guys. I just know you guys, and we're here sitting down talking. Obviously, through this, like this is a one take. This is a very natural thing. So we're all learning about each other.
Yeah.
During this time.
I mean, I know everything about Joey.
Well, yeah. I mean, me versus.
I've like broken into his Verizon account once because they asked you like a series of questions about like it's like to get the password, right? So, did you forget your password? Like, oh, what elementary school did you go to? What was your first concert that you attended? Broke right in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man, now you're kind of sus, bro.
Yeah. Just because we've been around each other for so long.
This is what like 5-6 years ago. I see this guy every day. Well, except for that 1 year, but yeah. That's cool. Like it's honestly. I mean, shit.
I mean, if that pushes you to work harder, and then by the time you're at that age where you're supposed to have failing health or something happens to you, then you'd be satisfied with what you've accomplished already, right? And
yeah, that's.
Let me tell you something. I am 31. I'm 6 years older than you.
Yeah.
I am happy with what I've accomplished so far. If I die tomorrow, I honestly don't think I'll have any regrets. Like if you told me I was gonna die tomorrow, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I was thinking about it too. I was like, I want to be on my deathbed and know that I don't regret anything I've ever done.
And regardless
Or
of what
not
age
done.
that may be, as long as you live your life in a way that you know you won't regret it, your life thus far, regardless, at that point there won't be an age. Like you will, whether that be 5 years from now or 50 years from now, I don't think there's a difference. And honestly, that's very difficult for somebody who honestly, I mean that getting to the point where I could honestly say that probably happened somewhere like the last year and a half. Like it's not something that I've had for a while. And I think you'll get there. Honestly, like I honestly think that you will.
Yeah. Honestly, your 20s is like a really good time in your life, and it's a lot of fun. But you start really appreciating life when you're in your 30s. Yeah.
That's kind of where I am now too, because like okay, 5 years is a number, but what happens in those 5 years? How many big life events actually happen in those 5 years can change a person? So 5 years to me could be different to 5 years from you guys, or 5 years for the next person.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people passing away, just a lot of life things that kind of made me grow up to this point. A lot of people like to think that I'm more mature, have a different mindset than most people that are 25. But at the same time, like I feel like I kind of set back. Like I'm kind of not where other people that are 25 are at,
That's how it is, man.
That's fine to me now.
Yeah.
Because I used to think that the past, so since not going to college, since, let's say 18 to now, it's been 7 years. I used to think that I wasted all that time away, but the past 2 years have kind of been the point where I've been like, okay, I've actually learned and gained a lot from those years. And obviously us going through doing the things that we do, we fail. I mean, we can consider them failures, but we learn from them. And I don't know.
I've been constantly failing my entire life.
I'm still failing.
It's fucking. I don't fucking care.
That's kind of the point.
That's the way to do it.
I mean, that's also what I'm saying. I've been constantly failing my whole life, but yet if you tell me I have a week left to live, fuck, dude. Like, yeah, fuck it. Well, let's let's try that out.
You don't learn from winning constantly,
Okay. You guys want to take a break?
Yeah, I want a cigarette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna smoke a can?
Is that okay? You want it? But Joey doesn't like it when I smoke the shop.
Just throw a B-roll in here.
So we took a short break. Now we're back, and obviously the lighting's different.
Yeah.
It's a long break.
Yeah, I took a long break.
3 days later.
3 days.
We changed back into our same clothes that we were wearing earlier, and I didn't take a shower.
So I guess we can end it off with 2 questions. Or is there a preference on which question that you like better?
I didn't hear you when you asked me the first question. I was looking at the Twitter because coronavirus.
fuck Joey.
No, but yo, like, there's no wait at dim sum anymore.
Is it?
No wait. Like, you go on like a Saturday morning, no wait.
Dude, I'm in San Gabriel and that shit's always still like.
Is it still popping?
It's still
like,
popping.
Where you go?
Every fucking like.
Where do you
basically
go?
down on Valley, like any of those fucking restaurants.
What's your go-to
for dim sum?
Dim sum.
Oh, fuck. I don't know the name of that place because it was the place that my friend took me to.
You don't have a go-to then.
I don't have a go-to. Not for dim sum. No, but I mean like restaurants in general. Though.
Like,
How's
Pepper Lunch right now?
Pepper Lunch, I drove by Alhambra and it's still decent. It's not like.
But there's no like line out the door.
No, there's
right?
no line out there. No, even when I first came down to like the end of January, I went to Pepper Lunch and it wasn't like popping like that.
Oh, so you can go to Pepper Lunch with no wait now.
But it's the one in Alhambra though, so.
Yeah.
But it might change now because Tom Hanks has coronavirus. They're canceling NBA games and shit right now, so it's about to get serious.
Coronavirus?
Yeah. Like, you know what the alley is? The alley, the boba.
Oh yeah.
In Diamond Plaza.
Yeah.
You can sit down.
Wow.
Yeah. It's so nice, dude. I love the coronavirus.
Yeah, because was it 80-90, the one in San Gabriel with the 99 Ranch? That place is still popping.
Yeah.
Friday, Saturdays, like night times, still popping. Basically, Valley, everything on Valley is still like popping.
Yeah, I think America has been the least worried about it just because there hasn't been any like crazy outbreaks.
No, Seattle Chinatown, fucking dead, decline in business so bad. And people, my parents were like, yeah, it's like the roads are quiet. Like, Seattle has bad rush hour traffic too. Mm-hmm. Basically, they said like rush hour traffic is like non-existent now. Everyone's working from home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're like forced to work at home.
Yeah.
Everybody's telling me from San Jose. They're just like, oh, people are working from home now, this and that. Mm-hmm. Fucking Amber's working from home today.
Yeah, I have a friend that works at Facebook and they shut down the office.
Yeah. I mean, if I die, I die. That's what I think.
Well, you're gonna die anyways.
Yeah.
Eventually. So.
Yeah.
Because I had two friends, so it's like I had, anyways, these two friends, one was like, I don't want to go to K-Town. And then one was like, I don't want to go to San Gabriel. I'm like, well, fuck you guys. What do you guys want to do? Like, and then ended up one just went home and
just stay in Pasadena. There's plenty of things to eat there.
I didn't want to eat in Pasadena. I wanted to fucking go to K-Town and eat. Or I want to go to San Gabriel.
I wouldn't even go to K-Town right now.
I don't like, honestly, I don't like going to K-Town regardless.
I've been to Japan twice and I'm not trying to go to K-Town.
Yeah, just because like the general crowd or?
Yeah, it's just too crowded there. It's fucking dirty. Like.
Yeah. I appreciate the historical aspect of it and honestly I love Korean everything. But yeah.
Well, for me, it's just there's that one restaurant that there's no other restaurant.
Where?
Harari, the kalguksu, like the fucking soup noodles, like the handmade grain noodles. But there's not really other options for it.
To die for.
It's not to die for, but it's definitely one of my personal favorites. It's nothing special.
I mean, I'll die for Sunlong things, so I don't care. Like, that's just 24 hours open all the time.
When you go to San Gabriel, you don't have to go to like K-Town.
I mean,
Hanari is right next to Sunlongdam in K-Town. Yeah.
I see.
So that plaza, they fucking know every time I pull in.
Oh,
They
that
just,
place.
Yeah.
Yeah, that place probably got the coronavirus. It's
I feel like all the places that are dirty are probably the safest because they have like such strong viruses already that like just destroy the coronavirus upon contact.
Yeah. I don't know.
And the more immunity, like, the more you're exposed to stuff, your immune system works better.
Man, fucking us work on dirty cars, fucking touch our face, touch our fucking dude, we good.
Yeah, that's true. I am probably already dead, to be honest with you.
yeah, me too. But no,
Joey's hella healthy though.
Yeah.
I wash my hands like after I do anything.
And he also orders organic coconut milk.
Oh shit.
It's very healthy.
I guess, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I guess we could talk about this topic, coronavirus. What are you guys?
No. Ask us.
No, we can. I mean, we've already been talking about it. I've been recording this shit for.
Well, that's all I have to say. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say.
Yeah, it's getting bad. Like as I'd expect. I mean, it was expected to get bad here. So.
I mean, because right after, I think it was the second week that I was here was when LAX had the first case, and then one of my friends had just been at LAX and he was freaking the fuck out.
What happens?
Nothing.
Like what happens when you get the coronavirus?
Oh.
What happened? What will happen to me?
You get like pneumonia type symptoms.
I see. So hard to breathe, can't smoke,
fatigue,
fever, runny nose. Basically, it's like a flu, but times like. So what they say is like times 10 or some shit. Like it's worse.
But like your stomach and stuff too hurts. Sitting on the toilet?
No.
No?
There's nothing to do with that.
Oh, really? Let's bring it on.
Yeah, I didn't look into it too much because I don't care. Because how I live is like, we talk about it, right? You know, if I die tomorrow, I die tomorrow. That's it. So, I mean, obviously the way I go about it, like, okay, we're doing normal things anyways. We wash our hands.
When somebody else says it, it sounds terrible.
Yeah. No, but when I hear someone else say it, I'm like, that's dope. I love this person. Yeah.
No, because I'll say that shit all day long, but then when I hear you say it, I'm just like, well, what about your parents?
No. Like, I'm very open to my parents and my sister about it because we had a phone call the other
Who's
day.
going to take care of them?
Huh?
Who's going to take care of them?
Oh my god, my sister's still alive. So.
Okay. Cool.
Because me and my sister and even my dad, I was like, there's like the past year, I've just kind of been like, okay, if it's your fucking time to go, it's your time to go. Because, you know, us doing car shit, there's so many times where there are crashes and even fatalities that, like for me personally, there are a couple fatalities that I've literally avoided by 5 seconds because I opened my mouth 5 seconds too late. Like sitting a passenger in a car in a drag race. And it's literally, it's been this small of a window that I've avoided something like that. So if it's your time to go, it's your time to go. There's nothing really you can do about it. And even though I'm not really superstitious, that's how I look at things now.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you could change your brake rotors because they look pretty bad. That's a choice.
Hey, what pads are you running right now?
Project Mew.
Club Racer? CR09?
No. Project Mew in the rear and some stop tech shit in the front. These are just some like street shit to use to keep in place.
Okay.
Because I had pageants on the Alpines.
Okay.
But then I found I didn't need that much braking power.
Yeah.
You ain't got no rotors. What do you need brake?
I'm waiting for my BBK to fucking come.
What BBK?
It's not old one off my S2000.
You just need new pads for it.
No, it's no, I don't need pads or anything on that. Like the rotors are glazed, but that brake kit it's retarded.
It'll be fine.
It's because I tracked on that set. The rotors were glazed since the day I got that brake kit. The pad's still about as thick as the day I got it.
Okay. Yeah, because they just eat away at the pads.
Yeah.
So the rotors.
But the rotors and the pads are still
metallic?
fine. Yeah, they're super light.
Okay.
But you'll see them when I get them. When I get them on.
Yeah.
But no, I like to run my tires down to the point where they're like slicks, and they have blowout.
Yeah.
Okay, that's just irresponsible.
That is
just irresponsible.
Because every time
I don't care if you die, but your arrow.
Huh?
Like, I don't care if you don't care if you die, but like, what about your arrow?
My arrow's been fine. I've had 2 blowouts.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, every time I look at the tires, it's fine. And then one time it was even low on air. I don't know. I am very irresponsible.
You have those big old holes, you know, behind, you know, where the rear fender is and also the front. You can see your old tire.
I know.
Just look at it.
I look at it, but then sometimes I forget to look at it.
Well, just
like, and then,
I'll remind you next time. Next time I see you, I'll be like, how are your tires?
I'm more cautious now.
Okay.
No, because last time I was getting ready to buy fucking some tires, but then I didn't have the money on hand, and so I was like, okay, I can probably hold off for a couple more days. And then what happened after that was I got in a front end collision. That's why my fucking my bumper's black. So I was dealing with that. And so as I was on my way to go pick up the bumper, a fucking tire blew out. And then that's
okay. No, I have a certain appreciation for that lifestyle.
Yeah.
Having, you know, very much done that for a long time. I get it. It's cool, man. Like,
we know it's stupid.
Fuck it. Yeah. I mean, everything I do is technically stupid, so it's fine. Yeah. Fuck it. If that's what you like, that's what you like.
Yeah.
I support it. But you know, if you're ever like, you know, like, hey, like I don't have any tire left and I need to do something, I'll fucking call me or something. I don't know. You can do that.
I love you to know.
I guess. I'd rather that.
He's about to give me some 15-inch fucking tires. Like, hey, put it on.
No. I mean, like, I can always run to our compound. They always have shit lying around. Don't go there. Ask them for that. You know, it's like, and I mean, just because, you know, we have at this point a decent network that, you know, of people who would trust us, and it's like, hey, like my friend needs these tires. I'll drop off the money later. Mm-hmm. They'll be like, yeah, sure, no problem. Mm. And that you know, that is a relation. You know, I mean, if I feel like I can trust you, and so therefore, you know, that helps out everybody, right?
I kind of want a 458.
Oh, you fucking idiot. What are you gonna do with that?
I was kidding.
Why?
There's no reason. I want it though.
I mean, okay, fine. Then go drive one for like a week, and then drive your S1000 and tell me how you feel.
The 458's comfortable as fuck. I don't give a fuck about getting it in LA.
That's not gonna matter, honestly. There
No,
have
I
been
know.
many cars that I've driven for extended periods of time, and then, like, there are some pretty high-profile vehicles that I've driven, and like one of them was very recent, but and then I was back here for a weekend, and then I hopped into Phil's S1000, and I was just like, it was like the best thing in the fucking world.
No, I know that's
There's nothing else.
My joke went over your head, but
Oh, my bad.
that was a joke. I don't know why. It's like
You are that much taller than me, so I mean, yeah, 4'5'8". Ugh.
But no, that's by far though. Honestly, that's still my favorite. My favorite like entry level supercar.
The S1000?
No, the 458. The S2000 is my favorite car.
Then problem solved.
I know. That's why I want to have like.
If you already
I wanna have,
own
like,
your
3
favorite
S2000s.
car, like, okay,
I
so
don't have enough of them.
who said this? Anthony Bourdain quoted this. He said, "Stay loyal to your nightmare of choice." And like I've kind of like lived my life by that. So
2000.
yeah, it's 1,000
years.
Like there's no reason why you shouldn't have it. You already own it, and
Yeah.
that's your favorite car. Like why anything else?
I mean, honestly, like if I were to be honest, if I had the money to buy a supercar, I'd buy 31 S2000s.
Well then, problem solved.
I know what yeah.
Yeah, I know what I like too.
EKs.
EK sedans.
Yeah, you have a
Yeah,
better.
I am way more fucked up than you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, but as going back to the actual no, sorry, what is not a podcast, right?
We're looking at like a video, a chat room. I don't
Okay.
know. How much time? Like 12. Look at that.
So you had a couple questions.
Yes, I had a couple questions.
Okay.
So, first question, obviously for both of you guys. If you can change one thing in the current world, what would you change? If anything.
You want to go first?
Mm-mm. Change one thing in the world, like as a whole?
Yes.
Traditional sexual inequality.
Mm.
No matter what. Well, I mean, sorry. Like, well, what do you want me to say? Like more EKs?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, sexual inequality, like gender roles and shit. It doesn't make sense
What?
to me. Well, I mean, in
Explain.
every culture in the world, like, how are the gender roles generally laid out?
Well, it's usually the man is
Somehow has more power, right?
Yes.
But why?
because he has a fucking dick. I don't know.
That's like.
You see, it doesn't make sense to me either.
Well, then there you go. I mean, like, why has it become like that? I don't know. Like, but why does it have to continue to be like that now that we understand that there is no difference? That doesn't make sense to me.
Well, like the one thing that I feel like isn't going to be able to be changed through that is just like the physical features, like the genetics portion.
Nah, I mean, like,
But-
physical features, like, we all have different physical features, but that doesn't mean that, like, from the get-go.
No, from the get-go. No, I
No,
get
I'm
it.
saying, yeah, sorry.
Sorry, but what I think is that everyone, okay, like they say, okay, kids learn, they absorb information a lot faster, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, essentially everyone, like, we're like dogs, you know? If you train us to do one thing over and over again,
I'm more
we
Catholic,
get
I'd
good
say,
at
but...
well, it's just an example, fuck you. But if you train one person to do one thing over and over again, you do the same thing over every single fucking day, then obviously you're gonna get good at it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're forced to do it. So essentially anyone can learn anything that they want to.
Sure.
So it's really a matter of whether you want to go learn it or not.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like everyone starts out at the same level. It's just what route you take to get to the same goal.
Like Mewtwo says.
Yeah, because we all, okay, some people learn by reading books, going to school. Some people do it better by just doing it. And, you know, it's the same thing. Like, I look at it the same way. Like, girls have females, they have the capability to do anything that a guy can do. Obviously, besides, like, genetics and stuff, like physical features. It's
Like what?
like, you know, just like having, having
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. That's fair.
The
Like-
physical features,
yeah.
there's limiting features on both sides, yeah.
That's very... And in that sense, that is a fair argument.
But-
Same as, like, the whole, like, concept of typically in most sports that we see in
Uh-huh.
the US, like,
Yeah.
Asian people are not going to be very good at them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I can say that.
Yeah, I mean, both genders and different types of body types just have limiting factors.
Yeah, no, I totally get that too. And no, I didn't mean like there's like I wasn't talking about like
No, I mean, like, you mean like socially, like
no,
social-
it just
You're talking about like,
I think-
unequal pay and stuff?
no,
I get
I'm
that.
not gonna get into all that. That's a whole nother thing. gender roles, like
Gender
specifically. It's just like
Like you mean the female technically usually being at home, like taking care of the child kind of deal, or
consideration in terms of professional opportunities. That I don't.
I feel
don't-
it's changing already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It
Cool.
is.
Then it's problem solved.
It's just taking a very long time. That's all.
It's I mean, if anything, I think it would be nice. Like it's not. This isn't something I put a lot of thought into. Like I personally, I kind of embrace adversity somehow.
Mm-hmm.
I almost like run into it. 'Cause I'm an idiot. But I do wish that is something that I would like to see accelerated a little bit more. I think that'd be nice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, having more good boba everywhere would be nice. I guess if I had to change my answer.
That is true.
Yeah. It's like there's so much shit boba in SoCal,
And the rest of the world.
And I know Japan's not good.
Yeah. I don't even know where good boba is anymore.
Here?
No, like, I mean, in general, there's nothing that fucking, like, blows me away. I mean, unless you think there's something that can blow me away.
I like it. I like the alley a lot.
I mean, it's just because you've been exposed to it so much, so it's not going to seem like it's that different.
Yeah.
It's not mind blowing, but it's consistently good.
You're also in California now, so it's like say that like you want to go eat at the best restaurant in the world. Like after you travel the world and you've had a lot of different types of really good food, even if you eat at the best restaurant, it's not going to blow your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Noma?
Well, for me, food-wise, best is always going to be home. Mom is always going to be the best food.
But that's for different reasons.
That's for different reasons.
That's true. I think my girlfriend's cooking is the best cooking in the world.
Yeah. But yeah, like we're from fucking Hong Kong, so our thing is that milk tea to us, well, you guys call it boba down here, but then like milk tea, like when people say milk tea, like I like to think classic Hong Kong milk teas.
Mhm.
What is that?
You haven't had that?
I don't think we've been to Hong Kong.
No, you can get it around here. It's similar. It's just like the way they milk it or make it. Sorry.
You guys just have a milk tea
No,
like
I was
animal
thinking-
and just like milk
Yeah.
tea? Okay, so what is it? What kind of tea is it?
So it's usually black tea.
Okay.
And then it's like the way they do it is they have this silk, it's like they call it the silk sock.
okay.
It's like pantyhose. So
Sure.
basically the way they filter it through that, it gives
You just
that
like the
tea is-
pantyhose aspect of it.
Let's go talk about that elsewhere.
Over dinner.
Over dinner. But the way that they make it is just different. So the taste
Okay.
is not the same. It's more of a more of a tea flavor.
And they use like
The tea is richer.
Yeah.
Oh. Is there anywhere around here that I can get it?
There's
I mean,
one.
it wouldn't taste that different to you, I don't think.
Okay.
It's
because I
not-
smoke.
It's
No,
it's
just because you've had different types of.
Oh.
You wouldn't even know if you've tried it before.
I know. That's what I'm trying to figure
Well,
out.
there's one. I'll bring you one next time. There's like
Okay.
this one where it's like prepackaged. It's called, I think, Lan Fong Yun or some shit. That one's the one that's like the closest to the authentic taste, even though it's a prepackaged
Okay.
thing. It's weird.
Bring
Like,
it
I don't
on.
know if you've tried it, but I'll bring you guys one. You guys can see like it has the most authentic taste, even though it's prepackaged. It's weird.
If anything, it's like next time at the grocery store with like Eddie or something, you'll know, right?
He might not know. I don't know.
Ooh.
He might
Fighting words.
Because no, because this is we didn't know for the longest time. There's a lot of people that don't know about the brand. And one time I hit him up. I was like, "Do you guys offer influencer programs? Because those guys want to get free fucking boxes of that shit. I'll post that shit all day. I don't give a fuck." That was the one time I ever asked for a sponsorship thing because
Okay.
I was like, "I want that shit so bad." I've never asked for a sponsorship thing for cars or anything,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that was the one thing I wanted it
Okay.
for. But anyways,
I can respect that.
then okay, we're at.
Sorry, Joey. What would you say?
I guess like the current narcissistic, I guess the wave of how people view themselves and how everyone feels like they always have to be in front of the camera and like everyone thinks that they matter way too much, I guess, is something that I wish I could change. I don't know.
The entitled narcissistic nature of
Human beings, yeah.
Yeah.
That the social media and media in general has created.
well, everybody has a voice now. All of a sudden.
Yeah, everybody has always had a voice. It just hasn't been. They didn't know how to use it, or they didn't have an outlet for it.
Well, I mean, like up until very recently, like even in order to be like a news reporter, you had to prove yourself to be somewhat educated,
Yeah.
to understand how the world works, and also you had to work your way to that point. But now all of a sudden, everybody can say anything anywhere.
Yeah.
And they almost have like a weird platform, right?
Everything's too transparent these days, and like people don't appreciate anonymity anymore, and privacy, I think, is something that I wish would change.
I love anonymity.
Yeah, I definitely relate to that.
Yeah, I think we're just overexposed now to everything.
Yeah.
So everything just feels kind of numb, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cars, like everyone thinks, we do have a passion for cars, but I don't know if it's the same for you guys. But for me, a lot of times, a lot of the shit that I've seen, it doesn't excite me anymore. I see it as normal day-to-day life. Okay, I see something like that. That's something that I don't see on a day-to-day, basis that excites me. Like an EK, like the way you little things you did, this and that. But then it's like a lot of people see they see a Ferrari, they're like, oh, it's a Ferrari. Oh my god, fuck. Da, da, da. Like I see that shit. I'm like, that's like seeing a fucking Camry for me. Like I've driven that shit.
New Camrys are sick though.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any type of connection with supercars anyways, so because I know that I would never own one, and I would never want to, so it's never appealed to me.
Because they've appealed for me because I've liked cars for basically as long as I can remember. Because my dad's kind of the same way. My dad appreciated all kinds of cars. So whether it's from your imports to your muscle cars to, even the occasional lowriders or off-roaders, and supercars. And when Pagani first came out, it was like the hypercar. Like Pagani is still my favorite. Like it's literally my favorite car because I still remember the day that I picked up that magazine that car was on the fucking cover.
Pagani Zonda?
Yeah, the Zonda. It was the fucking the C12. I think it was at that time. I think that's the name they called it.
The first generation with the quad tip exhaust.
Yep.
Yeah.
The cover photo I remember it distinctly. It was that car on that cover with the rear. It's like the rear 3/4 and that exhaust there, and that was that. And obviously at the time I just liked how it looked.
Yeah.
And then later on, growing up and learning about it, you're like, okay, the way the V12 sounds, like So that's kind of why I still to this day appreciate all kinds of cars.
Yeah. And we certainly do as well. It's like by no means is Joey disregarding them and his appreciation for these vehicles. I know he does. He's just not interested on a personal level. I think.
No, I don't relate.
So that's why, honestly, I don't relate to, because what I like is when I had the opportunity to drive those cars, I didn't like driving them during the day. I didn't like driving them in crowded areas. I like to drive them when it was 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning, where it's just me in the car. There's no fucking attention. There's no this, there's no that. I just want to appreciate this car for what it is and not the monetary value. Because that's what everyone sees when they see it. They see the monetary value. And that's how a lot of kids are now as well, because you see those cars.
It's a status symbol.
Yeah. And for me, it's I don't give a fuck what car you're driving. If you're a fucking asshole.
If that's the case, just take a screenshot of your bank account and print it on a t-shirt.
I mean, people would if they weren't afraid of it getting stolen, If people could, everybody would do it. I bet you.
Do what?
You can just make a shirt with your bank account statement.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot of people wouldn't, because then you'd realize how little money they actually had.
Yeah, because some of the people that I've somehow got in touch with, their accounts they're billionaires. They're one of the top people, and I'm just like,
what is it called when you have less than 4 digits?
100 Air.
I'm 100 Air.
I was like, what? But no, so it's a weird. It's because a lot of people think supercars at that level are that's fuck you money. I'm like, no. You have not seen enough of this world to know what. Money is.
That's not that. There's. No. I think real fuck you money is property and land.
You own a piece of the world, dog.
Yeah, I don't think there's any bigger fuck you than that.
It's
unreasonable. Yes.
It's like people who own fucking islands and shit out.
Yeah. It's not islands. Islands are cheap, man. That's the thing. It's islands you can have for less than $100 million. You can have islands, dude. Go ahead.
Have mountains on the island.
What are you gonna do with it?
Live on it. Wild. With my broke ass at 2000.
Where are you gonna shit?
Anywhere you want.
Coronavirus, dog. I don't even worry about.
That's so gross.
Like a newspaper, dog.
Oh, that's so gross.
Leaves and shit. Go back to
really
original times.
I really like indoor plumbing.
I love that shit. I did too. Well, the fucking want to build an island and sit a resort island or some shit.
Oh, you don't have that much money.
You want to see my bank account, dog? I might be negative now. I don't know, man. It's been a day.
Yeah, I mean, moving into California is not going to help.
Oh, yeah.
No, I mean, Seattle cost of living is pretty high already.
It's I feel there's no difference.
Yeah.
I feel like it might be even a little cheaper, but at the same time, it's like in Seattle, where rent is high, it's more like
Your taxes
downtown.
are really high too.
Yeah, taxes are high too. But then now down here, essentially, it feels the same. It might be even a little cheaper. What might cost more is like
depending
gas.
on where you live, it could be cheaper. Yeah.
Yeah, gas is more expensive. It's definitely more expensive than Seattle, and you definitely drive more. So that's like the one expense that I could say that I spend more on.
Mm-hmm.
Because Seattle for us, like I used to live near downtown Seattle.
Yeah.
So basically going anywhere that you needed to go in the state, like one of the bigger cities, is 15 minutes away.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then now when I'm like, hey, you know, where are we going for dinner? Oh, X whatever place. I'm like, how far is that? Oh, it's really close, 30 minutes. I'm like,
Yeah, everything is automatically 30 to 40.
yeah. And then nowadays, it's like when I went down to San Diego and came back, it was like a 6-hour round trip drive. I'm like, it's like me going from Seattle to Vancouver to Portland in one day. I feel like I'm road tripping every fucking day.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
So that's kind of the little differences.
You learn to appreciate it though. I don't mind sitting in traffic. It's just if I have to be somewhere at a certain time, that would get annoying.
Yeah, the time planning
Yeah.
part.
But if I'm just like going home or something in the traffic, I mean,
Podcasts.
you live in the best part of America. Like, why are you complaining? Just embrace it.
Very minor inconveniences.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize how much I didn't mind it until I didn't have to.
Until you didn't have to like.
I lived in Arizona for a little bit.
Oh, I went to Arizona
Wait,
too.
wait, what's going on?
Oh, no, I just restarted it. It's 27 minutes. But I went to Arizona once. I think it was Acura. Acura had paid for all my expenses to go to Brett Jackson one year.
Oh, nice.
So it was for the auctioning of the first NSX.
Oh.
And then I went there, really didn't have to do anything. I mean, got to go there. But I really liked Arizona, or well, Scottsdale at least. So that's the only
Scottsdale is nice.
It's chill. Like rush hour traffic is literally like maybe less than a mile of traffic.
Yeah, it's nothing.
And 5 lanes wide, the roads are smooth.
You get hella rock chips though, like in your windows.
Nah, well, fuck it. Like,
No, it's like way more inconvenient than you think. Yeah. But anyways, that's not even the point. Sorry.
Cali ACH.
You know, California is. I'm never leaving California ever again.
I don't think I have.
I've considered like living in Japan for a little bit. Probably not, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I love California.
I love California too. It's always been the place that I've dreamed of for the past couple of years.
You have access to everything that you need here.
Yep, all the resources. And another thing is a lot of people don't get it. Like a lot of people back home, they were like, "Why did you choose California? Why did you choose LA?" I'm like, "Well, for the things that we do, I basically can go next door and be like, hey, do you have this? Can you do this for me? 1 day turnaround."
Dude, people live their whole lives dreaming of one day coming to California and experiencing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you get to live here every day. That's like,
That's-
people just take that for granted, man.
So I understand that everywhere else, you know, there's always gonna be like a substitute for something, whatever. You know, it's like, oh, you know, you moved to wherever from California. It's like, well, I mean, like instead of that, we have this, and it's like, oh, it's almost like that, but like here, the thing about California, the thing about Los Angeles is that it's the best of everything, and it's like to some people who don't care about that 2% difference or whatever, you know, so be it. You know, enjoy. You know, I don't want to offend anybody, but enjoy X state. But here, it's legitimately the best, and the people who are here because they are looking for that. And I feel that at least in what we do, like it makes sense to be here because everybody else that you work with, they're going to be looking for that too. And if you're not looking to be the best or to at least with the intention of, realistically, none of us are probably going to be the best at anything.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you know, just in the long run, whatever the history of the world. But if you don't have that intention, like, what the fuck is the point?
Yeah. That was kind of my goal. A lot of people thought I came down here for the fun aspect of things. But I came down with a goal in mind. Okay, I know what I want to do, and down there is where the resources are.
The
network
opportunity is here.
Yeah. And a lot of people think that, you know, doors just automatically open. No, you have to go fucking knock on those doors. You have to open them yourself
You
sometimes.
gotta break that shit down.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, a lot of people thought I was down here for fun and games because I only post, okay, the cars that I shoot because that's one work.
Oh, I mean, those people are just looking at your Instagram.
Yeah.
They don't care anyways.
So it's like, and then, no, even my close friends, they
But
like,
they're texting you. They call you, don't they?
yeah, they call, but then they don't because they don't have that mindset. They don't have the same mindset because they don't see what we see. You're just coming down here. It's like, okay, I'm coming down here. Okay, I can meet up with Joey. I can literally be like, I'm 50 minutes away from Joey. You know, I'm 50 minutes away from maybe even evasive. If I need something
Yeah.
from them, if I need something from anybody, and that's only the car industry too. If I needed something in the clothing industry or the fashion industry, it's so
Illustrators,
like everything. There's so
chefs,
many creatives down here.
music,
Yep.
everything is here. Like, and everybody you meet is in it to be the fucking best.
Yeah, and like it just motivates me to be even better because there's these people around me chasing their own dreams and goals.
You can derive inspiration from everything here. Anything,
Yeah.
everything. It's like, dude, like that environment is what makes Los Angeles Los Angeles. It's you can't. There's no substitute for that environment.
Yeah.
I don't think.
I mean, you can be the best at what you do at home, but like once you get into like the rest of the world and seeing and like communicating with other people that are just as good as you, or if not better, then that just drives you to be better, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was pretty good at what I did when I was back home. Over here, I was like, I'm like, a little bit below average.
Yep. That's how I viewed myself too, because I was like, honestly, I don't even know how I garnered such a social media following doing that kind of shit.
Sorry, I'm so ignorant. I'm sorry. So you have a pretty big social media following.
Considering where I came from in Seattle, so I don't think it's a lot, but then other people seem to think so. It's okay. So it's 20. I think I'm at 26,000 Instagram followers or something.
Okay, wow.
And then so on the Chinese version of TikTok, there's about 60,000 people on that one. But I don't really.
What is a TikTok?
Are you doing like the dance videos and shit?
No, I'm literally just posting.
What is it? What is it?
TikTok is like it's like Vines. It's kind of like Vines.
So Vine is back now.
Kind of.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just TikTok.
So just short videos.
Short videos.
Okay.
But then the way that Chinese people use it and the way that American people use it, it's a very different thing. So, but what I did, I just uploaded the videos of my car to it, and in China there's a handful of S2000s, and S2000s with paperwork there's maybe about 5 maybe.
Because like $1 million, right?
They go for a shit ton of money. So you roll up to a car meet and you have a J's Racing Type GT there. The car that's parked next to it is a fucking LaFerrari. So you can see how it kind of differs because they treat these 90s JDM cars like fucking gods out there because they don't exist.
Because they also are. Yeah. In my opinion. Sorry.
Well,
continue. Sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, but if you look at it in the sense that it's just like it's rare.
It's also a status symbol there.
It's not so much a status symbol.
Okay, it's not.
It's more so that you have the appreciation for like true automotive culture. Because if you have that same money, why don't you go ahead and go buy a supercar that everyone else has? But you went ahead and chased a childhood dream that no one here has.
It'd be like somebody pulling up in like a '65 Mustang here, super clean, next to like a Ferrari or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's a car guy.
Yeah. Like when I was coming here, I saw a fucking older Camaro, and I was just like, I was looking at the dude was looking at me. He was probably looking at me like, man, that shit's fucking riced out. But I was like, this is a dope Camaro,
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of that kind of ordeal. But then, like, me by myself.
It shows the world who you are.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. I understand. Okay.
And then me being in Seattle, obviously there's a plethora of S2000s in Seattle.
A lot of really nice ones.
Yeah, and so my
Which
car
is weird because it's a convertible and you guys it gets rained on like 90% of the year.
Everyone has a fucking hardtop. For me though, like whenever it didn't rain, I would take the fucking hardtop off and just go drive.
Okay.
That was my thing. Like
So
as long as
your
it's not
top
raining
off for one day. And then
Yeah, basically.
For
Because
3
that
hours?
top. That's why I don't care about that top. That if I scratch or anything, because
I noticed
just
you're just
wanna
like,
drive top down.
boom,
Yep,
wing,
basically.
trunk. I was like, yo.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, that's cool.
I mean, it's a car. It's a use.
No,
Those hard parts are replaceable,
Of course.
yeah.
But then like, yeah, it's like so. There's a lot of S2000s in Seattle that are nicer than me. They post Instagram photos, this and that. So why is it me that was the one that garnered this much attention?
I think it's because you're more active. And it shows in it shows your personality in your posts, right? Whereas people just post photos of cars.
Believe it or not, at the end of the day, even now, people are interested in people.
Yeah. And that was something that I didn't really make a connection to until a little later, because I used to only post photos of the car. But then I was like, there's no point. Like, I want people to know that this is my car, because if I didn't exist, then this car's styling would be around. And so that was when I was kind of like, okay, I'll get behind the camera, or I'll get in front, be in the picture,
Do it.
And that's what I've been doing for the past couple of years. So people know what I look like,
Sorry, my bad. As in, like, just, you're doing it.
But then, like, at the same time, though, I can't survive on my own, like, up in the Northwest. Like, I've told Reggie, like, me and Reggie are 2.5 hours apart. Reggie doesn't really like going down to Seattle, and me going up is don't really have a place to stay in Vancouver. So it's like
Reggie with the
Reggie Ma.
Oh yeah. He runs like Stickydiljoe on DC too, or he had one.
Yeah.
Right?
A long time ago. It's probably about 10 years ago now.
Yeah, he's
Hold
doing
on,
well.
we didn't make those lifts 10 years ago.
Fuck. Wait.
What are you talking about?
Big Stickydiljoe.
He doesn't have a DC2.
No, he had a DC2.
But he didn't have the lip on there?
Yeah.
We're talking about Night Runner Reggie.
Who's that?
Reggie Ma.
Ma.
Is that a different Reggie?
Yeah, which Reggie are you talking about?
I thought he had Integra.
He
He had
does.
Integra like ages ago.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
I didn't think you said they had like seat lip on it. I thought you asked if he had a DC2.
He hasn't had his Integra in ages. He had an FRS after that. Like a Rocket Bunny one.
Oh no, he got a DC2 and he sold that shit not too long after.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it was. Never mind. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Whose fucking car was that, man? Reggie hit me up.
Reggie Ma?
Reggie C. Ma.
Yeah.
Yeah, Reggie Ma is the same
And then he sold the car like a week later.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thanks, Reggie, asshole. I'm just kidding.
Oh, I'm not kidding.
Did he get a lip?
Huh?
Yeah, he had a lip on the car.
Hmm.
That was really cool. I really liked the picture of the car that you sent me.
Huh.
So,
He does shit like that.
yeah, it's
That's
cool.
it.
It's totally fine. I still appreciate your business, sir.
But no, talking about Reggie would be the only other person that I would be like could creatively like collab with on stuff here and there.
Yeah,
And
it's pretty creative.
but it's not that realistic considering that you have to make that 2.5 hour drive. It's weather shit for both of us, and we just both don't really want to go out and do shit when it's obviously bad weather.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, I can't make it on my own. One person, like even doing other shit, you need a team of people. And it's like, okay, if I come down to California, there's other people who are way more famous than I am, way more known, better at what I do than I can't even talk anymore.
Tom Hanks?
I guess.
He's got the coronavirus, though.
Yeah, but yeah, there's just so like there has to be a community for everyone to be like.
Did you come down here for Sarah?
I want to cut this part out. Like,
Okay, you cut that part out. You cut that part. Okay. Should we wrap it up, or do you want to take a second?
Here we wrap it up.
Yeah?
Too
Too many bad jokes from my end.
No, Joe's looking at you like.
It's getting really dark too.
I know it
Yeah.
is, and I'm sure we'll do another one of these later, right?
We could do it. We can always do it.
I mean, if you want to.
I want to.
Okay, then yeah,
That's
hell
fine.
yeah. Come
Because
through.
we see how things change. What's.
I will never change. That's my problem.
Will you experience more? More fucked up shit.
You would think so.
Uh,
But it's cold now.
okay.
What do we do? How do we?
Well, obviously, thanks Joey, thanks Yuta thanks for your fucked up jokes.
I think they're great.
But I think we'll cut this video and this chat here. We'll just end it here. So obviously, thank you for watching Storytime with Cullen, and we will see who we're going to be back with next. And that might be their neighbor. We don't know.
Oh, you haven't done one with them yet?
No, not yet.
Christian and Dwayne?
Yeah,
They're interesting people.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, Christian was
Christian is a pretty
SP.
interesting guy.
Christian is an interesting guy for sure. Sorry, Dwayne is interesting too, but not in the way that Christian is. Christian's like.
But you shouldn't do them together though, because their stories are so different.
Yeah.
Do this like that.
Okay, well, now this is the official ending to it. So
Thanks for having us,
It's
man.
official ending.
Always a pleasure. I didn't think I'd see you again ever, but it's nice that you're out
That's
here.
fucked up.
No, I honestly didn't think so. Like
I'm crazy. I'm crazy. Maybe not as crazy as you. So.
No, I just meant like I didn't think that I was gonna see you for a while until I went back upstairs.
Well,
so.
shit. It has been a long time.
It's been a long time. It's been like 5 years. You know that, right? You don't even remember when you met me. It's cool, dude. Don't worry about it.
I thought I met you again at.
Weekfest.
Yeah,
Oh, I was like half dead. Maybe that's what it was.
probably.
Oh shit, I did see you at Weekfest. My bad,
Yeah, you
dude.
fucking asshole.
Yeah, I'm an
That's
asshole.
the last time I saw you.
Okay.
man. It's like,
I'll go on record and say I'm the asshole.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so we're out. I'm not gonna shake Joey's hand because he's too far.
You guys have coronavirus now.
Nope.